Hello, and welcome to part 4 of our module on character. We've been looking at people, listening to their voices, and living in their spaces. So, TC, what are we doing with all of this now?
We're writing a full scene. Just like a dance class, you're now going to take every movement you practiced in the warm-up and use them together in a single piece of short fiction or short drama. Everything we've done so far defines one of Egri's 3 dimensions of character.
And those were physical, social, and psychological, right?
Right. The physical part is obvious, their appearance and posture, but if done well, it allows us to see who they are as a person. How they speak shows their social dimensions. It's the same reason you've spent so much time working on dialects as an actor. And I'm not just talking about where is this character from. Like, you're from London, but not everyone sounds like you.
Oh God, no, not at all. If you get into a cab saying your driver probably sounds a little bit like this, maybe he's got a favourite pub he knows when West Ham are playing next, and then you've got someone like King Charles out visiting his subjects in the music industry and having a go at the DJ turntables and telling people to dig that crazy rhythm.
I remember when that happened.
And then we did setting. Is that environmental?
Technically, yes. Although for the scope of this module, we're specifically looking at environments through the character's eyes, not the specs that will be needed by scenic. We're pulling double duty with something the writer will need to describe anyway and making the psychological dimension external.
So the 3 exercises we've done so far were all practice rendering information from each of Egri's 3 dimensions on the page in a more tactile and immediate way than his analytical framework suggests.
Yes. One of the common issues I see in beginning writers is that they rush towards plot. And plot is important. We will work on it. But plot without character is just an arbitrary sequence of events. The reader or viewer doesn't care what happens next if they don't care who it's happening to. The world is full of unplanned shit happening to people you don't know or care about. They don't need to pay you to invent more random-ass shit when they can literally just go outside and see absolutely insane people doing all kinds of things on the sidewalk.
Right. Not everyone lives in New York.
Well, then they can go to Walmart.
Does peopleofwalmart.com still exist?
I think it's a subreddit now. Those of you not in America, you're welcome.
So if I want to have a competitive edge on people who go to Walmart...
On a compilation of every person that's ever done crazy shit in a Walmart.
I've got to make people care about who my character is.
Exactly. Caring is irrational. We do not care about characters because they are described accurately. We care about them because something very specific about them, a turn of phrase, the way they stand, the thing they can't stop returning to in a room, makes them feel like a real person we might have met. That specificity is what you've been practicing.
So tell us, what's the assignment?
Take one character from your sketch notebooks. Write a short scene of no more than 1,500 words for prose or no more than 8 pages of a play or screenplay. The scene should be a moment of ordinary life. Not a car chase, not a climactic confrontation, just a moment. Your character is somewhere specific, doing something ordinary. Maybe they're waiting for something. Maybe they're doing a task they always do. The scene should contain at least one other person so that we hear your protagonist speak. By the end of the scene, we should be able to answer 3 questions without you having told us directly. What does this character want? What do they struggle with? And what kind of world do they live in?
All from 8 pages of someone just waiting for a bus or something banal like that?
Yes. The constraint is the point. When nothing is happening plot-wise, your craft has to do all the work. And when your craft can do that, plot becomes your ally rather than your life support.
Now that's interesting. Usually what I've been told is that if a scene isn't working, it's because it isn't propelling the plot forward.
That's true, but you have to look at why it's propelled forward, which is based in character. If the character is being forced through a list of plot beats which bear no correlation to who they are, you're going to end up with a scene that feels fake and stiff.
So I've been taught that it's the actor's job to find that motivation in a scene. I remember a colleague of mine in grad school complaining that a character wouldn't do such a thing as it was written in the scene. And the teacher's response was, well, it's written, and so obviously she is the kind of person who would do that, and you have to think of a reason why.
That's very smart advice from a grad school perspective in which an expert professor picked a famous script for its merits as a teaching tool. That doesn't mean that bad scripts don't exist.
Oh, God, no. They exist all over the place. Characters going back and forth for hours doing nothing in particular.
And that's what we're trying to avoid here. A well written script or story is like a puzzle. The actor or the reader will do the work to figure out why the things happen that way, but that assumes that you, the writer, did the work to design and craft a clever puzzle. If you just throw a bunch of nuts and bolts and wood chips from your garden shed haphazardly in a box and sell it for $24.99, people are going to be real pissed off when they open it and find out there isn't a well-designed puzzle inside.
So this is about designing the puzzle.
Exactly. Not all of these short character sketch scenes that you write, either now or in the future, will end up in every final product that you sell or produce. Some will, not all of them. But what's important is that you learn how to craft character and plot puzzles in a way that people can decode at all. So before you post your scene to the subreddit, write down your answers to these 3 questions. What does this character want? What do they struggle with? What kind of world do they live in a separate doc. Don't post it. Post only the scene. We'll take our guesses, and you'll see if we found the answers that you intended. And the comments, after they've come in, share your answer sheet, discuss what the gaps are. Do the same thing for other people. That's the most useful feedback. Not, oh, did I write it well? What do you guys think? Is it good? But rather, did it communicate what I meant it to?
Right then. Well, there you have it, folks. One short scene, one ordinary moment, 3 things the reader should be able to understand without being told. Post your scene to r/Ubergroup with the story plus tag and tag Tej, U/TEEG, directly to get her eyes on it. This has been our Intro to Character unit of the Ubergroup's Story Plus course. Thank you for playing.